The glow of his phone screen was the first light to touch his face that Tuesday morning. It wasn't sunrise. It was 5:58 a.m. in his 400-square-foot studio apartment on East 6th Street in Austin, Texas, the familiar. Low-grade panic was already there, humming in his chest before his eyes were even fully open. Mark, 31, a senior data analyst for a cloud software company, had set his alarm for this exact odd time for a reason. A productivity podcast host, a guy with a very calm voice, had said it prevented the brain from expecting the alarm, creating a micro-challenge to jumpstart the day. The alarm tone wasn't a buzz or a ringtone. It was a gentle, ascending chime called 5-minute fidget. The idea was to give him a 300-second window to slowly awaken, to stretch with purpose in the dark. He paid $4.99 for the app in a fit of inspiration last January. His hand, pale in the screen's light, slapped the snooze icon. The chimes died. The room plunged back into a silence filled only with the low whir of the window SC unit. His breath caught, then steadied. For 5 minutes he pretended this was part of the plan, strategic rest. At 6:03 a.m., the chimes came again, a little more insistent. This time he swiped the alarm off entirely. A tiny notification badge on the app icon glowed with a disappointed red 1. It read, "Fidget sequence incomplete." Consistency is key. He felt a pang of guilt, sharp and familiar. He swung his legs over the side of the bed, his feet finding the cool faux wood floor. The room smelled faintly of yesterday's coffee and the lavender linen spray he bought to simulate calm. His mission was water. The podcast voices in his head were clear, hydration before cognition. On his IKEA desk, next to a stack of 3 unread copies of Atomic Habits, sat his hydration station, a sleek, liter-sized bottle with time markers on the side. Drink to this line by 7 a.m., he unscrewed the cap and took 3 large, obligatory gulps. The water was room temperature and tasted faintly of plastic. As he drank, his other hand, acting on a muscle memory stronger than any willpower, picked up his phone. His thumb found the fingerprint sensor. The screen exploded with light and information. A Slack notification from his manager sent at 11:43 p.m. "Hey, circling back on the Q2 projections." A CNN push alert about market volatility. A text from his mom with a meme about Monday. A flood of cortisol, cold and metallic, hit his system. His shoulders tightened up around his ears. This was not in the hack. The hack said, "Hydrate in mindful silence." He was failing at 6:04 a.m. He carried the phone to his tiny kitchenette, its light casting a blue ghost on the cabinets. He tapped his Focus Fuel playlist ambient sounds of a rainforest with a subliminal 40 Hz binaural beat. The coffee maker was programmable, another triumph of optimization. It began to gurgle on schedule, brewing a blend infused with lion's mane mushroom and chaga, for sustained cognitive clarity. The smell was earthy, almost like damp soil, not like coffee. While it brewed, he opened his mindfulness app. A serene woman's voice greeted him. "Welcome back, Mark. Ready for your 7-minute morning gratitude visualization?" He clicked play, set the phone down, and closed his eyes. He tried to picture a beach. The voice guided him to feel the sand. But in the darkness behind his eyelids, he saw the Slack message. He saw the charts he hadn't finished. He heard the fake rain from his speakers, and underneath it, the real sound of his neighbor's car starting. His heart wasn't slowing down. It was ticking faster, a frantic little bird against his ribs. The 7 minutes ended. The app played a soft gong. He opened his eyes. He didn't feel grateful. He felt behind. This was the routine. The optimized routine. Every piece of it had been researched, recommended by a thought leader on LinkedIn, or backed by a sketchy but plausible neuroscience study from 2012. He spent hundreds of dollars and hours setting it up. Snooze-fighting apps, light therapy lamps, nootropic coffee subscriptions, habit trackers that gave him digital confetti for drinking water. It was a morning built for a machine, not a man. It was frictionless, and yet it felt like wading through wet concrete. Every action was a box to check, a metric to hit, a step away from the peace it promised. He poured his cognitive clarity coffee into a branded mug from a tech conference. He took a sip. It was bitter. He scrolled. LinkedIn was a horror show of people claiming they'd woken up at 4:30 a.m., crushed a workout, meditated for an hour, and launched a revolutionary AI startup before breakfast. He compared his own shaky, silent, phone-lit morning to their highlight reels. A deep, hollow ache settled in his gut. This was supposed to be the path to being elite, to being a top performer. So why did he feel so mediocre, so drained, before his day had even officially begun? Let me ask you a question that's a little uncomfortable. What if the quest for the perfect morning is the very thing making you mediocre? Think about it. You're chasing someone else's blueprint. You're following a hack designed for thousands, not for you. You're performing a ritual of optimization, but you've lost the thread of why. You're trying to fix a human problem with a digital solution, and it's leaving you feeling less human. I want you to picture something with me. Not a beautiful sunrise. Picture the real footage of your morning. The harsh, lonely blue light of your phone screen in the dark. The dry, sticky feeling in your mouth from a night of sleep you tracked but didn't truly enjoy. The ache right between your eyebrows from staring at a calming visualization on a screen. The sound of not one but 5 different alarm tones, each one layering a new kind of anxiety. The slump of your shoulders when you realize you've already failed the first test of the day before you even had your bitter, mushroom-filled coffee.
This is the reality for millions of smart, ambitious people. They're told that these hacks, these apps, these routines are the stolen secrets of billionaires and Navy SEALs, that this is the price of admission to a high-performance life. But what if that was a lie? A very profitable, very seductive lie. What if I told you that by the end of 2025, the very heart of the tech world, Silicon Valley itself, is starting to quietly ban these exact morning hacks inside their own campuses? Not because they're too effective, but because they're finally seeing the damage, the burnout, the empty productivity, the human cost of turning mornings into a quarterly performance review with yourself. They sold you on a dream of effortless perfection, but that dream has a crack in it. In fact, the first hack you probably used this morning, the one that started this whole silent struggle, is at the top of their list to get rid of. The lie you believe is that you need more technology, more optimization, more hacks to fix your morning. But the truth is, you need something far simpler and far more radical. And it starts with one banned piece of technology that's about to change everything. Let's talk about Jordan. He lives in a beautiful modern apartment in the low-high neighborhood of Denver, Colorado. The views of the mountains are incredible. His place is clean, organized, full of smart gadgets. But if you open the bottom drawer of his standing desk, you'll find a graveyard. It's not a graveyard of bones. It's a graveyard of plans. There's a Fitbit with a dead battery, still clipped to a strap. There's a Whoop band he wore for exactly 18 days. There's a sleek, expensive Oura ring in its little felt case. Next to it, a stack of notebooks, each one with 3 or 4 pages filled with beautiful handwriting, January's goals, February's intentions, then nothing but blank pages for the rest of the book. On his laptop, he has a Notion page titled Ultimate Life OS. It has databases for books to read, skills to learn, recipes for brain-boosting smoothies. It has a daily dashboard with 20 different metrics to track. He spent a long weekend in March of 2024 building it. Watching a 6-hour YouTube tutorial, he felt so in control, so powerful, clicking all those templates into place. He hasn't opened it in 7 months. Jordan isn't lazy. Far from it. He's a 34-year-old product manager at a fast-growing fintech startup. He works 60-hour weeks. He's the guy who volunteers to fix the broken processes. He's intelligent, driven, and deeply, deeply tired. So why does someone like Jordan keep failing at the very morning routines he meticulously designs? Here's the secret, and it might sting a little. Jordan doesn't fail because he lacks discipline. He fails because he's chasing the wrong thing. His identity isn't a person who executes. His identity, the one he's carefully built, is a person who consumes hacks. He's a productivity tourist. He loves the thrill of arrival at a new idea, the packing of his digital luggage with new apps and protocols. But the actual journey, the boring daily walking of the path, he abandons every single time. The villain here isn't his laziness. Let's give him a break. The villain is something I call the biohacker's curse. The biohacker's curse is the false belief that information is the same thing as transformation. That if you just listen to one more podcast, buy one more tracker, download one more template, you will finally unlock the secret. You outsource your intuition, that quiet voice inside that knows you need rest, or real food, or sunlight, to a stranger on the internet, with a great microphone and a catchy title. 6 things billionaires do before breakfast. You chase the feeling of progress, that quick dopamine hit of buying a new journal, instead of the slow, quiet reality of progress itself. Jordan's monthly subscription bill is a map of this curse. $14.99 for a meditation app he used twice. $29.99 for a superfood greens textile powder that clumped at the bottom of his shaker bottle and tasted like pond water. $99.99 for the premium version of a habit tracker that sent him encouraging notifications he immediately swiped away. He's not investing in results. He's paying a monthly fee for the hope of a different self. He's renting a future version of himself that never moves in. Picture him on a Sunday night. It's 11 p.m. The blue light of his screen washes over his tired face. He's now scrolling through a long Twitter thread from a growth guru about the science of cold plunges. He reads about vasoconstriction, brown fat activation, dopamine spikes. His heart beats faster with excitement. This is it. This is the missing piece. He researches cold plunge tubs for an hour, adds a fancy one to his cart. He can almost feel the invincibility. He falls asleep, dreaming of his new, resilient self. By Wednesday, the tub is still in the box in his hallway. The thought of filling it with bags of ice from the 7-Eleven at 6 a.m. just feels silly and exhausting. The gap between the thrilling idea and the gritty reality is where the curse wins every time. Let me show you what this trap looks like. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine a hamster. But this isn't a sad hamster in a rusty wire wheel. This is a sleek, beautiful hamster in a state-of-the-art, transparent wheel. It's got a little fitness tracker on its paw. The wheel monitors its cadence, its heart rate, its power output. It syncs to an app on your phone with beautiful graphs. The hamster is running, running, running. It is optimized. It is generating data. It is, by all measurable metrics, performing.
All our optimizing, our tracking, our hacking, it can just be a better decorated cage if we never step off the spinning wheel and point ourselves toward a real destination. But an app that gives you just enough hope, just enough little red notification badges, just enough new content to make you feel like you're almost there, you keep it. You keep paying. Your ongoing search for the solution is more valuable than the solution itself. That's the crack in the lie. The moment you realize, wait, I'm not the customer here. I'm the product? For Jordan, that moment came on a random Thursday. It wasn't a memory of a hack. It was a memory from his childhood, waking up at his grandparents' farm in Iowa. He remembered the sound of an actual rooster, not a gentle chime. The feeling of cool, wooden floorboards under his bare feet. The smell of bacon and eggs frying, not powdered greens mixing. The ritual of walking out to the henhouse to collect still warm eggs. There was no optimization. There was no data. That was the what if. What if being awake in the morning wasn't about extracting more performance from your body? But that you need to do something asterisk different asterisk? Something so simple, so analog, so seemingly stupid that the entire multi-billion-dollar wellness industry doesn't want you to try it? The first step out of the biohacker's curse isn't another search for information. It's a single, quiet act of rebellion. A down payment on trusting yourself again. So, let me ask you this. What's the one piece of technology, the one hack in your morning, that you know in your gut is more of a burden than a blessing? What's the thing you cling to not because it works, but because you're afraid of what mornings would look like without it? That right there, that fear, that dependency is the edge of the trap, and your way out starts by prying open one single stubborn finger. Sarah, a marketing director from Seattle, stood in the dusty, comforting quiet of a thrift store on Queen Anne Avenue. The smell was a familiar mix of old books, lemon polish, and the faint, sweet scent of aged wood. And there it was, nestled between a lava lamp that hadn't tea-bubbled in decades and a porcelain figurine of a sad-eyed clown, was a clock. It was a boxy, plastic thing the color of buttered popcorn. Her usual pre-sleep ritual was a scrolling doom loop through news and social media, ending with setting 3 different phone alarms and placing the phone face down on her nightstand, a little guilty secret glowing in the dark.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more. The silence after the old alarm clock was a new kind of space. It felt wide and empty, like a clean room after you've finally taken out all the boxes. For Mark, the data analyst from Austin, standing by his window that first week, the question was loud and clear. Okay, I'm awake. Now what? This is where the real work begins. Not the exciting, dramatic overhaul, but the quiet, daily war for your attention. This isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about placing a few simple, immovable stones in the river of your morning, so the current has to flow around them, not sweep you away. Think of it as building a fortress, one band brick at a time. You've already laid the cornerstone with the band alarm clock. Now, let's add the walls. Band hack number 2, the band minute. Right after you shut off that blaring alarm and splash water on your face, you have roughly 60 seconds before your old habits come knocking. This is the most valuable real estate in your entire day. For years, we've sold it to the highest bidder. Our phones, our emails, our notifications. The new rule is simple and feels almost too small to matter. Before you do anything else, you pick up a pen, not your phone, a real pen, and you write one sentence on a physical pad of paper you leave right next to that old clock. The sentence follows a formula. Today, I win by tapistas. That's it. Not a to-do list, not 10 goals, one win. It has to be specific, and it has to be something within your control. For Mark, on a stressful Tuesday with a big project deadline, he wrote, "Today, I win by finishing the first draft of the Q2 report before my 11 a.m. meeting." He didn't write, "Be productive," or "Crush it." He wrote a single, actionable target. The physical act of pressing the pen to the paper, the scratch of the ballpoint, the slight give of the page, made it feel like a contract. He signed his name underneath, just for fun. It took 40 seconds. He looked at it, took a breath, and moved on. Band hack number 3, the band fuel. Breakfast had always been a transaction for him. A scoop of protein powder, a glug of almond milk, a shudder as he chugged it down while checking emails. Efficient, but deeply joyless. The new rule was about connection, not just consumption. Eat one whole, unpackaged food before you eat anything processed. This forced a small, good decision. On Wednesday, he looked in his fridge. He saw the sad tub of yogurt. Next to it, in a bowl, were 3 real lemons. He cut one in half. The sharp, bright citrus smell exploded in his kitchen, cutting through the usual stale coffee odor. He squeezed it into a glass of water. The taste was bracing, sour, and wonderfully alive. He drank it slowly, feeling the cool liquid move through him. It was a small act of nurturing, not optimizing. Other mornings, it was a single hard-boiled egg, the white firm, and the yolk a rich yellow. The act of peeling it, feeling the shell crack and come away in little chips, was mindful in a way no meditation app had ever been. He ate it, standing at his kitchen counter, looking out at the Texas sun just starting to heat the pavement, tasting the simple, clean flavor. He felt fed, not just full. Band hack number 4, the band commute. Mark worked from home. His old commute was rolling from his bed to his desk in 30 seconds, bringing all his sleep fog and anxiety with him. The new rule felt silly. A 7-minute fake commute, walk around his block, before he ever opened his laptop. The first morning he stepped outside in his sweatpants and a t-shirt. The Austin air was already warm and humid, carrying the smell of damp grass and blooming mountain laurel. He heard the chatter of grackles in the live oak trees, the distant hum of the freeway. He put his hands in his pockets. He had no headphones, no podcast, no destination. He just walked. He noticed the pink roses spilling over a neighbor's fence. He saw the same older man every morning, walking a tiny, serious-looking dachshund. They started nodding to each other. A silent neighborhood recognition. By the time he looped back to his front door, his head felt clear. The mental baggage of the day had been aired out. He had created a physical and psychological barrier between rest and work. He crossed the threshold of his home as a person arriving at their job, not just a person who never left it. Band hack. Number 5. The band first meeting. This was the hardest one. The real test. The rule. The first 90 minutes of your official workday are a legacy block. No new inputs, no email, no Slack, no messages, no news. You do not download other people's problems or agendas. You only do output on the single most important project you have. You build your legacy first, before you start servicing the daily noise. At 8 a.m., Mark would sit down, open his document for the Q2 report, and set a timer. His email tab was closed. His phone was still in the drawer in the living room. The silence was terrifying at first. His brain, used to the frantic pace of reactivity, felt jumpy. He had the profound urge to just check in quickly to see what was on fire. But he didn't. For the first 20 minutes, he stared at the screen, writing a sentence, deleting it. It was a struggle. But then, something shifted. The deep focus, the kind he hadn't experienced since college, started to seep in. By the time his timer went off at 9:30 a.m., he had written 3 clean, solid pages of analysis. He felt a sense of accomplishment so solid, it was like a stone in his pocket. He had already won his day. Everything else was just admin. Of course, there were setbacks. A Thursday, where he slept through the alarm. A Friday, where he reflexively grabbed his phone after the clock went off and fell into a 30-minute Instagram hole. The old patterns have deep, well-worn grooves.
Here's the crucial part. The rule isn't perfection. The rule is the ***1 reset button ***. When you mess up and you don't throw the whole day away. You don't say, I'll start again Monday. You take a breath and you ask, what is the next band hack in the sequence I can do right now? Slept through the alarm? Do the band minute and the band fuel? Scrolled on your phone? Put it away and take your band commute. You only lose the war if you stop fighting the individual battles. To see the progress, you have to track it in a way that's visual and physical, not digital and hidden. Mark bought a pack of neon orange sticky notes. On his bedroom wall, he started a timeline. Day 1, did the clock thing. Felt crazy. Day 4, ate a real lemon. Weirdly good. Day 7, fake commute. Saw the dachshund again. Day 12, legacy block. Almost finished the project. He didn't write long journal entries, he just put up the note. Over 2 weeks, a row of bright orange squares grew across his wall. A colorful, undeniable map of tiny victories. On the bad days, he'd look at that row and think, I did all that. I can do today too. This is where community whispers in. Doing this alone is hard. The voice that says, this is stupid, is loud when it's the only one in the room. Mark texted 2 of his oldest friends, Carlos and Jess, who lived in different time zones. The message was simple. Trying a weird morning thing, accountability. We just text when we do the first hack, no pressure, no long discussions. The next morning, after his cold water, he sent. 2 minutes later, his phone buzzed in the drawer. After his commute, he retrieved it. There were 2 notifications, one from Carlos, one from Jess. A tiny, powerful warmth spread in his chest. He wasn't on an island. They were in the quiet trenches together. 3 friends across the country, building their own fortresses. That sense of shared, silent purpose was stronger than any motivational quote. Now, watch the transformation. Not a sudden one, but a gradual one. Imagine a time-lapse of Mark's apartment over a month. At first, the space reflects the inner chaos, the bed unmade, A laptop open on the couch, a lonely shaker bottle in the sink, but as the days tick by, small changes appear. The bed gets made not perfectly, but the covers are pulled up. The single lemon sits in a bowl on the counter, a spot of yellow. The row of sticky notes grows. The laptop stays closed until after the walk. The man in the time-lapse moves differently, less slumped, less hurried, with a focus that comes from clarity, not panic. He starts to hear the texture of his own life again. The asterisk, tick-dash-tock asterisk of the clock, a metronome for his morning. The sizzle of an egg in a pan. The rustle of the sticky note as he presses it to the wall. His own breath during the quiet walk. These are the sounds of a life being lived in person, not through a digital proxy. You've won the daily war for 30 days. The routine isn't a struggle anymore, it's a rhythm. It feels less like a hack and more like your life. The real, good one you were always meant to be living. So a question lingers, doesn't it? If this is so powerful, so transformative, why would anyone want to ban it? Why are the very tech campuses that designed the old addictive hacks starting to quietly remove these simple tools from their own wellness programs? The answer is simple, and it's the final key to your freedom. A human who is focused, intentional, and present in their own body and mind is the most powerful kind of human there is. And that is a human who is very, very hard to control. 6 months is a long time and no time at all. It's early October in Seattle, and a soft gray light fills Sarah's apartment. There's a gentle, persistent rain tapping against the window. The sound is rhythmic, peaceful. On her dresser, the old Time Master clock ticks away, a faithful companion. It's 6:14 a.m. She's already awake, lying in bed, listening to the rain and the ticking. She feels a calm anticipation, not a dread. When the alarm rings at 6:15, she's already smiling. She gets up, shuts it off, and walks to the window. She watches the rain fall on the canal for a full minute, her breath making a faint circle of fog on the cool glass. This is her new normal. It's not a dramatic, changed everything story. It's better. It's a quiet, steady reality that has woven itself into the fabric of her life. Let's talk about results, real ones, not just, I feel better, though she does. Tangible things, that legacy block she protected every morning. The 90 minutes of focused work before the world could interrupt. That how she finished the side project she'd been tinkering with for 2 years, a simple website helping small local businesses with their marketing. She launched it in August. In September, a coffee roaster down the street paid her for her services. It wasn't a fortune. It was $500, but it was the first money she'd ever earned completely for herself, from an idea she'd brought to life before checking her email. That project is now a small, growing consulting side hustle. It started in the silence of those protected mornings. The banned commute, her 7-minute walk with no headphones, led to something else. She started noticing her neighborhood instead of just moving through it. She saw a "For Rent" sign in the window of a beautiful old brick building with a view of the water, a place she'd always loved but assumed was out of her league. On a whim, she called. Because her mind was clear, not clogged with morning anxiety, she had a good, confident conversation with the landlord. Long story short, she's moving there in December. Her morning ritual literally helped her find a new home.